Good day, dear friend. Welcome. Today is one of the most important days for us. And I want you to, if I could, I want you to bookmark this. I want you to pay attention to this. I want you to really make sure you focus on this show in particular. And the reason why is very simple. You are like, and I'm seeing it a lot. I'm seeing it not only with me, but Mrs. Ella is seeing it with her ventures, her groups, her folks. What we are seeing is a cacophony, a concatenation of so many people saying so many things from so many groups, seemingly on our side, but not really. And it can be very disconcerting. I heard a new term today. I'm surprised I hadn't heard it. I'm sure it's been around for a long time, but I had not heard it. You've heard of rhinos. Well, now there's the trino, the Trump in name only. This is the person who fancies him or herself as being a believer in MAGA. The closest that I have ever seen in terms of identifying a policy direction is MAGA. Or MAGA, if you're from upstate New York. MAGA is it. MAGA got the president elected, not the Republican Party, not conservative, not Charlie Kirk, not any of these people. I want you to understand, you cannot be at all anymore fooled by the politics of personality. Now, there's some personalities who say some great stuff, but you're going to have to shift through this. Have you ever been to any kind of a convention? I'll give you an example. I know you haven't been to one of these, but we've been to these Whole Foods or vegan conventions, right? And they have food, and then you go through, and one guy's trying to sell you non-leather shoes, and another one's trying to sell you honey that's not honey because of the bees. And then somewhere you go, I kind of just came to learn about the diet. I didn't really want all this stuff. And then you get to save the forest and save the animals. And then you get confused. And then these people are kind of crazy. And then you walk in and one guy's got a tie-dye t-shirt. The other one's got the bald head with a ponytail. They're all a bunch of ex-hippies with the socks and Birkenstocks, with the, and you wonder, wait a minute, I thought this was about, what to eat. And you say, oh, no, this is about us. It's about the people who take over the movement. And you're saying, but I didn't want them to be. Well, sorry, they're there. Okay? Excuse me. Brussels sprout, my God. That's where we are. And invariably, you are going to be confused by a lot of people who seem to be on the team, who seem to espouse our ideology, but they're really not there. They're really not there. So that is part and parcel of what we're going to be discussing today. Now, in Europe, you must be conversant with Europe, European, Asian, global South. You have to get out of the stricture of that which is only American and look elsewhere. What everybody is saying, what the rest of the world is bracing for with what is happening between Russia, Ukraine, the deep state, you name it, is the idea and the notion of food shortages and serious emergency. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. Everything is not pie in the sky. If you think the radical left is going to be happy by just sitting back, licking their wounds and saying, well, better luck next time, you're out of your mind. That's why you must listen to this. Let me ask you a question. What happens when the trucks stop? Think about this. Trucks, the trucks that bring your food And then when one store closes because of a riot or ransomware hit or a hurricane or even manufactured weather, oh yeah, we've talked about that. What happens when all of a sudden, suddenly, the entire supply chain collapses like dominoes? What happens then? We've seen it happen, and it doesn't take much. And that's the thing you've got to think about. A trucker strike, a cyber attack, some EMP, some Carrington class disaster, a city shut down by violence. It only takes one spark for shelves to go empty fast. And when that happens, and when that moment hits, you either have what you need or you don't. And that's why I am telling you, I want you to go to preparewithlionel.com. Our trusted friends at My Patriot Supply, they're offering unbelievable deals right now. You've got to see deals on emergency food kits that could save your life and your sanity. Over 2,000 calories per day. For 3 months of food per person, shelf stable for 25 years, in any kind of combinations you want, and made to taste like actual meals, not cardboard, not some military MRE. These kits aren't just insurance, they're peace of mind. So go to preparewithlionel.com, secure your kit, secure your future. Preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, because when the world breaks down, the prepared don't panic. You're going to be finding out, especially if you're new to this. In fact, if you are new to this, welcome. You've got to make sure you don't pay attention to everybody. And you've got to make sure you don't waste your time. If you sit back and you, whatever your thing is, it might be X, it might be, I don't know, it might be, who knows what it is. I have no idea what but X to me is it. You're going to expect one kind of a direct line. You believe in things like this notion of the Manichaean, meaning good versus bad. Tell me who the good guys are. Who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys? What do I believe? Where do I go? How do I figure this out? I don't know where to go. I don't know if what I want to be true is what I believe to be true. Somebody the other day, as an example, a friend of ours, Catholic, said, I think this new pope is going to be good. Why do you say that? I don't know. I don't think he's going to be as leftist or as communistic or whatever the particular phrase is that the other guy was. Bergoglio, who may never have been pope. And I said, well, where are you getting that from? She goes, well, I never heard it from, and she could not tell me where she heard this from. It was wishful thinking that bled into what she wanted to be true. There was no indication of this whatsoever. And I said, well, first, you understand something. There is no such thing as the left or right Vatican. The Vatican is a completely different thing. You have to understand. It's not Fox News. You're going to hear me rail against something, which is the most important. Fox News does more damage than anything you could possibly ever imagine. It is, let me give you another example by analogy. We get into these things. I don't know why we get into these team sports, but all of a sudden people will just go crazy for reasons I don't know why. Let me give you an example. The number one issue of death in this country is not anything you would think of. It's probably coronary incidents. More people die of heart attacks than anything else. And we have this group of people who don't really understand it. Now, because we have freedom of speech, and because we have the ability to express ourselves, and because we have, in the world of medical attention, we think that medical news and health news, like Fox News, is whatever's popular. And if all of a sudden you're hearing about methylene blue, it's the thing to do. And with all due respect, if you're selling methylene blue and you got a warehouse of methylene blue, by God, you're going to push that as the most incredible thing in the world. And I take my methylene blue, and when I take it, I feel an excitement and an energy. I'm never sick. I work 80 hours a day, and methylene blue, and the methylene blue, and get a methylene blue. Next thing there's another methylene blue. Methylene blue, methylene blue, dynamo hum, Panama red. Okay. Where'd this come from? Bobby Kennedy did this thing. And whether it could have been a work, I don't know. Okay, fine. I'm giving this as an example. I'm not here to argue methylene blue. I'm not. Before it was non-colloidal silver or something. That's it. Turmeric. Oh my God. Turmeric was the greatest thing in the world. And the real McCoy, the real doctors are thinking, well, I'm certainly not against these things, but I don't know where did this come from all of a sudden? We don't know where it came from. We don't know. Here it is. Okay. The biggest threat is regarding what people are hearing about cholesterol. There have been things that have been said that are so wrong, it's deadly. I mean, it is deadly. And years ago, I personally went to Dr. Atkins and was on the Atkins diet, lost a lot of weight. And I realize now I could have, if not maybe did, kill myself believing in this, eat all the protein and meat and butter and lobster and all, stay away from carbs. But it's legal. There's no way you can stop people from doing this, but it's just insanity. But nobody's going to stop you, and nobody, frankly, should stop you because of the fact that, well, it's freedom of speech, and that's why I always said, look, whatever you feel about COVID, if you think that ivermectin is great, you should be able to say so. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there are people out there, and they'll look at you in the face and they'll say, no, I eat nothing but meat. I eat nothing but meat. Nothing. Okay, fine. And that's okay. Or I don't eat meat. Or I do this and that. And there's no regulation of it. You don't know what it is. There's none. And there shouldn't be. Because I believe in living in a world where there's freedom to say what you want. You should be able to say that Trump is the worst president, that Biden's the worst president, that trans is good or bad. It doesn't matter. But because we have elected to live in a society where you can say whatever you want, there are people who are saying that men and women, there is no fundamental difference between men and women. And that a man who decides to compete on a team, who was born a man, who has testicles, produces testosterone, and can outproduce, that somehow must be accepted. You're going to hear that. You're going to hear the opposite. You're going to hear the Riley Gaines. You're going to hear this. You're going to see Simone Biles losing her mind, taking everything that she's worked for and destroying her marketability for reasons we don't know. We've got this Elon Musk thing. What's Elon Musk doing? What's this? I don't know. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Manichean, apodictic, left and right. Is cholesterol good? Is cholesterol bad? Is meat good? Is meat bad? Are plants good? Are plants bad? Is there a God? Is atheism okay? What is this? Is it communism? Is it socialism? Is it Marxism? What's the difference? You see where I'm going? Because you have entered this convention, like I told you about, you're hit by so many sides. It's like going to a state fair. This guy wants to sell you the water filter. This guy wants to sell you the remember the chair that vibrates and massages you. You're just overwhelmed. You don't know what to do, and you're looking for somebody. So what you'll do is you'll pick somebody. You'll say, you know what? I kind of like this guy. I like Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn is a genius retard. Theo Vaughn has the intellectual capacity of a very slow child, slow, but he's smart enough and people around him to realize you are making money now. So all these people will go on his show, J.D. Vance and others, so because it's popular, and they realize he's a cretin, but he's popular. He's no Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's smart, but it doesn't matter. Theo Von will say, yeah, I'm stupid. I'm making so much money, it's not even funny. Okay, fine. Unless you recognize the fact that you understand something. J.D. Vance, is he a good guy? He's good. You're not going to get perfect. Understand what he's doing. Understand what he's doing. He's picking a particular platform where a lot of people like him, but it's all sort of, and there's this battle for who's on this show. Listen, I think it's a smart idea. Trump was the smartest. Trump realizes right off the bat, Theo Von is no. God bless him. Same thing with Tim Pool and other people, and go down the list. Just everybody's got their favorites. I unfortunately don't. I like my few people who I think are the best regarding certain for foreign affairs, international relations. It's the McGregor Napolitano group. They're without peer with this. Ryan says, what political benefit does the left think they're getting out of this Trump Musk squabble? Because they act as if it's a win for them. And thank you for that. We don't know and we don't care. And I don't know. I don't know what motivates him. I don't know why. Let me explain something to you. There is this thing, there is a group of people. I saw this today. There's an X channel. And it basically is that they want white people only. They want to live in a society with white people, black and brown people destroy everything. To even call, they're not racist. They're like separatists or something. Okay. Should they be able to say that? Of course. I think it's motivated by a lot of other things. Do I give it much thought? No. I don't know what motivates them. I don't know. But you should be able to say. You should be able to say anything you want. You'd be another one. There's this anti-Muslim thing. And there's a bunch of people who just hate them. They're the equivalent of anti-Semitic. If you said about Jews what people say on X about Muslims, it wouldn't be allowed. And that to me is patently unfair. Patently unfair. I've known so many and still good Muslims. They're the greatest people in the world. And for you to just blaspheme thinking that you know about Muhammad. Okay, fine. Should it be allowed? Of course it should be allowed. You can't say that about Judaism. Can't say that about Israel, but you can say that about Jordan or Egypt. Okay, fine. Now, here's my point. Do you want me to analyze the motivation? No. Let me take this a step further. You know what the source of something is? The source of something about what causes something is only important is if I can tell people how to prevent it. Let me say that again. I don't really know. Who knows the source of things? Well, why is that? In medicine, it's kind of easy. We want to find out the source of COPD so we can tell people either stop doing it or maybe we can figure out a way to correct it. But we don't really care about the source of it. We really don't care. I don't know why. Like, what's the source of something? If you're not going to fix it, I don't know. So when you say, what is the source of the left? I don't know what motivates them. I don't know what motivates the right. I don't know what motivates you. Our world views are different. The only reason I care is if I can use it as a strategy against them, to maybe because I want to completely destroy the left. There is no benefit for this. Certain things, kind of an adaptation. Sickle cell anemia, as you know, was originally was thought to be an evolutionary adaptation to malaria. Well, it outdated. There is no reason for cancer. Cancer has to be stopped. Cancer is not a good thing. It doesn't help things. Sometimes there's either or. The radical left provides no good to us whatsoever. This version. Not people who are progressive. Progressive, you could argue. But this version, no, because they're not really left. The only thing I care about is how to destroy their party. Not of course, ever physically or whatever, but I mean just ideologically. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you the reason for this. Sal Angelo, ladies and gentlemen, says, Lionel, I believe the Trump Musk feud is a drug-fueled attack by Elon or an autistic fit due to his inability to finish the job at Doge. Okay. Now, thank you for that. Let's take what you've said. I believe that Trump feud is a drug-fueled attack. Well, number one, how do you know that? Well, I don't know that. I've heard there was some ketamine. I heard that remember there was some talks about with ketamine. Does ketamine, if that is, I don't know personally, but well, I've heard some drug stuff. Do you know how many people are on drugs in Washington? Not only drugs you get illicitly, but I mean others as well. And all these people sitting around, Bill Maher smoking this, Joe Rogan smoking this, and this one smoking this, and so much drugs. Does that have an effect? Damn right it has an effect. So when you say drug fueled, a lot of it is drug fueled. That's number one. By Elon, or an autistic fit. Autistic. He is not autistic the way people think it is. You're thinking of somebody who is stimming, somebody who wears a helmet, somebody who's looking at a fan blade. You know, we have these crazy, because we really don't understand what spectrum disorders are. Is it a fit? No. This autism of his part, as you say, got him very, very far. What is it? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's going to be a work. It is fantastic. Deep down inside, Trump knows and Elon knows exactly what was in that bill. Trump told him about EV forever. If you think that Trump was ever going to provide for some kind of big advantage for electric vehicles, you're out of your mind. It's a work. He knows that. Do you think Elon cares about pork? No. So much of what Silicon Valley get money directly from Congress. Of course it's pork. What is it? I don't know. If we sat around and let's vote it, I'll give you 20 particular variations of what explains Elon's behavior. What does it matter? Not at all. Nothing. Doesn't matter. I love it because of one thing. It reopens Epstein. What I don't understand is Kash Patel. Why is he going on? Who was it? Joe Rogan. Kash Patel is such a lightweight. I would fire his ass. That was the biggest mistake. He is not up for the job. Dan Bongino is a little boy. Remember one time he was, he was crying. Look. Phony. Wrong people. And Trump figured, okay. Trump gives people a long time. He gives them a lot of rope. So, we'll talk about that. But this feud, fine. So what happens is, irrespective, Elon says Trump's in the Epstein files. Trump says, no, I'm not. I'll tell you why. And what happens? The left, with that mean-looking Caitlin Collins and others, now have to talk about this. It is the biggest non-story there is. Elon, 2 weeks later, can sit there and say, I made a mistake. I made up. I got upset. It was the best of me. Or he forgets the whole thing. I don't know. He doesn't care what you think. When you are the richest person in the world, you can do anything you want. You don't have to worry about stuff. Being embarrassed, saying something stupid, changing your mind. None of that. You don't have to have any. You can do whatever you want. So I don't know. All I know is, let me say this again. Oh, you think that Trump's in the Epstein file? Yeah. Yeah. So would you like us to open up the Epstein files? Yeah. To everything? Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait. Oh, no, no, we'll do it. We'll do it. Do you think that, I'm just saying, who do you think is going to be, who do you think they're going to find out? They're going to find out about Israel. They're going to find out about Mossad. They're going to find out about Ehud Barak. They're going to find out about everybody. They're going to find out about this entire group of people from Alan Dershowitz, not saying he had anything to do with any improper behavior, but he's his lawyer, very strong Israeli supporter. I don't know if he's a full-fledged Zionist. I think he is, but he's a part of this group, associates with Bibi. You've got all these folks. Les Wexner. Les Wexner is not even mentioned. Not even mentioned. You want to go into that? Okay, good. Now remember, Elon's like this. Keep going. Keep going. Keep looking. And then when you go a step further, wait until you find out who really wants, who is perhaps Elon's biggest competitor, Palantir, Peter Thiel. Keep going. You've heard about lavender? Keep going. And when the left gets really involved, really understands, because they've been kept down. They've been, this blows everything up. Now, do you think Elon really cares about Israel? No. Does he care about Gaza? No. Does he care about humanitarian, or whether it's an apartheid or global ethnic cleanse? No, not really. Do you think he cares anything about that? No, not really. But he would love to do is to see his arch nemesis basically taken down a peg or two. Because when you find about predictive programming and what Palantir is about, you won't be able to believe it. Our good friend Ryan says, being a billionaire means never having to say you're sorry. You know, you're right. You're right about that. But not just a billionaire. There are billionaires all over the place. There are billionaires. Do you know them? I know a couple. And it's true. They're billionaires, but they're people you don't know. They do their business and within their world. But then there's another billionaire. There's like you can be Taylor Swift, or you could be, I don't know, or you could be the Stones. You could be McCartney. They're hallowed. You don't understand it. Nobody, Clapton, nobody gets near him. Nobody. This is Mount Olympus. This is the Pantheon. See, that's the difference. There's loads of great guitars. Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, yeah. McCartney? No. Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger is there is nobody. So you have billionaires. You know, a lot of them here in New York. There's loads of them. It really is. It's not that big of a deal anymore. I mean, it is, but isn't it? But they're not. But Elon, oh no, he's the richest in the world, and he's a cool guy. See, Warren Buffett never cared about being cool. His cool was not being cool. I live in Omaha, I drive a late model. You know, he did. Okay, fine. That's his thing. And then you see others. Then you have that, like Larry Ellison, kind of quiet. Then you have the opposite. Then you have a guy who never gets any respect. And that, of course, is the other phone. The what the hell? I can't believe I'm thinking. Help me with it. Amazon. Well, Jeff Bezos. And that thing he's married to. Jeff Bezos does not get the respect. He's got a lot of money. Now, Zuckerberg, sort of, but not really. He's not a rock star. Bezos is not a rock star. Bill Ackman is not a rock star. Elon is a rock star. T-shirt, little X. He may have, I wouldn't be surprised if he had 50 kids. inseminating people because he, in his own mind, he's not even a human. He's some kind of extraterrestrial. You think I'm kidding? He's off the charts. There's nobody like him. He can say one thing, say the other. He can sit there. He's already reaching out to Trump. You know what he'll say? Nothing. Because he's Elon Musk. Maybe he wants to be contrite. Maybe he says, you know what, I'm going to do my human thing. I made a mistake. Maybe he thinks, you know what, I'm going to try this. I'm going to say, I really screwed up. You know, here I am trying to do a good job. And what am I doing? Sad to say, I'm basically killing myself. I'm doing the wrong thing for the wrong people. And I made a mistake. Or he might forget it. I don't know. Trump is, in some respects, the most wonderful, saint-like egomaniac you'll ever meet in your life. Trump is out of this tree. Timothy Finley says, keep up the great work, Mr. and Mrs. L. Love the shows. Thank you, Timothy. Appreciate that. Follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. But see, Trump is another. Trump, you listen. I've got news for you. I tell people all this time. Trump is a great president, but we're not in his circles. Don't ever think we are. Don't ever think that one day he may say, hey, come on down to Mar-a-Lago. Bring the kids. I want to just talk with you. No. If you're not some billionaire or somebody he considers to be a babe and all, forget it. I don't care. He's entitled to. Same thing goes for the Pope. Same thing goes for a lot of other people. Same thing with Jagger. You think Jagger wants to hang out with you? No. I will tell you this much. There is a fellow that Eric Clapton has befriended. This guy does this show. And it's a kind of it's okay. It's about rock music and, what happened to Chicago and Cetera. Well, Eric Clapton has apparently befriended him. And they do these long-form things, and Clapton loves them. And this guy is his bare bones. And Clapton sitting with his, he's kind of like, Clapton's not a big guy still. The guy's still performing. You think he wants to? No, it's because they don't make any money. I mean, I guess they could sell other stuff, but people aren't what you think they are. But Clapton would be approachable. Absolutely. He would, but Trump wouldn't be. Trump, his wife and this and the gilded this and the Trump and the name. Listen, I'm not complaining. That's the way you are. I'm an intellectual snob. I do not like stupid people. I am the worst. And I immediately will size you up in 5 minutes unless I can see some heart or kindness or good in you. Then I don't care one way or the other. You got to have, there's a balance. Sometimes people are so interesting. It's like they may not be the best people, but they're interesting. Other people might not be the most smart, but they're so good. And rarely do you get both. Oh, I'll make it very clear. I immediately say, you're an idiot, you're crude, you're classless or whatever. Oh, you do the same thing. We all do this. It's a freedom. It's free. It's a free. There's some people who just miraculously, and I learned this a long time ago. Some people just don't like you. Understand something. This really bothers some people. Not everybody likes you. And another thing, not everybody finds you attractive or sexy. This isn't for us, but I hate to tell some women, not everybody. You're not what you think you are. Please don't connect yourself to that belief system. Some people just don't. So let's put all the personal parts of it away. Recognize the fact that we're not going to know these people. We don't know what motivates them. We never met them. I don't know whether Elon's using drugs. I heard this, but I don't know. The stuff that I've heard, which is the most important, would blow your mind in terms of so much other stuff. But I don't know this. All I know is this. Remember, you want me to open up the Epstein file? Okay. Cash Patel, I'd like you to sit down with somebody. Bring him in. This is Dr. Michael Baden. He has done more autopsies than people you know. Biden has been a forensic pathologist. He did Carmine Galante. He did everybody. I mean, John Belushi. He's worked on everything. Either he did the actual autopsy or was involved in it. Tens of thousands. He knows. He's forgotten more about the hyoid bone than you'll ever know. And you're a punk. And you're over your head. And you're a little boy. And maybe in your thing you wanted to be a big shot. Maybe because, I don't know, you look funny or you're foreign or I don't know. People have these overcompensation things. Dan Bongino, I was a law enforcement. That means a lot to a lot of people. It's a little boy being the cop. They love that. Guns and God bless people for doing that. I have had no interest in that. Because, again, I don't, the stuff that impresses me, it's not very, you're not going to have a TV show after somebody who, anyway. But that's the way it is. Same thing with the military. Oh, some people love the military. There he is. There he is. Sparko's back. People in the South would say of someone who had a particular aspect to them, well, that's just the way he is. Yeah. And I think Bruce Hornsby said, you know, I like what they say, you know, ain't that special? We had people in the old, remember that? He's just slow. He's just slow, you know, or what have you. But we are seeing something which is so terrific. Oh, and by the way, Sparky, you know where I see you is every now and then I'll watch, not every now and then, I watch all the time. I listen to Judge Napolitano, who I think is the most, again, is he doing something? He's always wearing a white shirt. Remember they wore his t-shirt all the time? And now he's wearing a white shirt. He's got the blue green screen. Not that it matters. I think he's one of the best minds there is. And I love his view of the world and what Colonel McGregor. I would love to know those people. But you know what? Maybe they wouldn't like me. Maybe Napolitano wouldn't like me. Maybe I wouldn't like him. I don't know. I've had so many people in my life where I thought I finally meet him and realize these guys are jerks. I didn't like them. Or some people are not very. I can tell you a lot of people that I've met who just aren't very. See, I'm very personable. If assuming you don't discuss me. Oh, I have absolutely no guards. I talk to people. People are my palette, my paints. You know, I love them. And some people I found who are fascinating are not people necessarily who are famous or should be famous or the like. And there's a reason for it. I really just like people. Another one too, I've never met him personally, but I love his style and I love his gumption. And his name is Mike Lindell. And he is in the fight for his life. And he's never stopped believing in what he believes in. And he has a product which is the most important. It's called mypillow.com. And I want you to listen to it. Promo code Lionel. And I want you to support him. And also get the best product you can ever get. You know, when it comes to comfort, support, and a good night's sleep, my friends, MyPillow has revolutionized the way millions of Americans rest their heads with unmatched quality, cutting-edge design, and a commitment to American-made excellence. MyPillow has become a household name. And now with mypillow.com/Lionel or using the promo code Lionel, you can unlock exclusive discounts and deals that bring comfort and savings right to your doorstep. That's right, my friend. Mike Lindell and the team in MyPillow aren't just selling pillows. They're on a mission to transform the sleep experience with a wide variety of products beyond their signature pillows. Whether you're looking for supportive adjustable pillows, luxurious Giza Dream sheets, cozy towel, mattress toppers that cradle your body in comfort. MyPillow offers it all. And with their 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty, you can be confident that MyPillow stands behind every product they sell. Now, Why my pillow stands out? Let me tell you, unlike generic pillows you grab off a department store shelf, my pillow is customizable and engineered to cater to different sleep styles. Whether you're a side sleeper or a back sleeper or a stomach sleeper, their patented interlocking fill technology adjusts to your specific comfort needs, keeping your neck and spine properly aligned throughout the night. No more waking up with that sore neck, no more tossing and turning, just the restful, rejuvenating, and exhilarating sleep that you deserve. And it doesn't stop at pillows. My Pillow's Giza Dream Sheets, made from the finest Egyptian cotton, offer a smooth, breathable, and luxurious feel, turning your bed into a sleep heaven. So right now, my friends, do the right thing. Go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. It's easy for me to say, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. Simply the best. Trust me. All right, my friends. Now, let us continue with what we are doing here as I'm bombarded with everything you can imagine right now as we speak. It's very difficult for you to recognize how do I say this? How to negotiate all of this. Let me try to get myself, I got to calm down here for a second because when things throw me off, hang on. Okay, where were we? All right. Okay. It's very difficult sometimes to negotiate your way through this, especially if you've never been through this before. And it's very difficult for you sometimes to not lose your mind during this, to just become so overwhelmed. But there's so much which you can benefit from. And let me see if I can explain this to you. First, you have to know whom to shut out. You really do. You can't know everything. You can't pay attention to everything. You can't jump into an issue because you like them. You like the stories. You like I like him. That Theo, I keep saying Theo. I like Fox News. I like Judge. No, it's not. This isn't about, the subject is not palatable from one people. I don't like President Trump. I like what he's doing. It's not about liking him. I'm not a fan club. That's why this connection with, I don't know if he's a nice guy. I don't know anything about him. I mean, I met him, but I don't know. I'm not even going to prepare. It's what he's doing. And you have to understand the big picture. The big picture and the big, how do I say this? The way things really matter. I put something, and I, if you go to X, go to my X, and right at the top, right at the very, very top, there is this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful piece I have. And I say, bookmark this, keep this, remember this, watch it often, memorize it, learn it, understand it, grasp it, believe it, and never forget it ever. This is the truth that's kept from you. MSM and shadow government ghouls never want you to know the truth. And it's Jeffrey Sachs explaining what Ukraine is all about. Now, when I tell you this, the number one, everything else we could talk about, the big, beautiful bill, all that stuff. If there is a nuclear weapon detonated, tactical nuclear weapon, everything changes. They want this. There's a wonderful group I saw today, a group I really like. And it goes back to, we'll do some memory lane here, so to speak. Sound like Joe Franklin, but there's this wonderful piece from this group called, I think it's the Promethean group. Let me see history. Where is it? Go back. I think it's called it's called Promethean Updates. Promethean Updates are very, very good. And they respond, how do I say this? Promethean Updates remind me, because I heard there was a lawyer from the Lyndon LaRouche days. Lyndon LaRouche was a fabulously, critically important person who was I don't know, portrayed later on as a nut. What he said was absolutely perfect. He had with him a fellow named Webster Tarpley. And Webster Tarpley was the proponent. He was like the main advocate. And Webster Tarpley is a genius. Webster Tarpley ran askew, or ran, I guess, had some problems either with President Trump and now he's whatever, which is fine. But he's a brilliant man. If you listen to, and he was in that classic Lyndon LaRouche anti or Anglophobic group of people who, whatever. Okay. Anyway, so to make a long story short, he was incredible and still is. Go back and listen to this history of, for example, World War II, Hitler, Perfide Albion, Venetian conspiracies, the Red Brigade, Gladio. He is wonderful. Again, today, I don't know. And he certainly doesn't want to talk to me. A lot of people don't want to talk to me because, I'm a member of the enemy or something. I have no idea. Sparky says, Paul Newman and James Brown were approachable. Some celebrities have an aura which fans sense, resulting in respectful interactions with strangers or fans where it's no hassle for the celebrity. Paul Newman and James Brown were approachable. Oh, could very well be. Some people are. I mean, But then when you're the richest man in the world, the security that you know what he knows. And he comes out and there he is sitting in the White House, whatever it is. Remember the way he treated that woman who was the baby mama? Again, he never, I don't think he did die anything. It's none of my business. This is Musk, of course. Remember how he treated her? I don't. And I got to tell you something. This is the thing which is the most important. You got to maintain your cool and maintain what's going on. Let me ask you something. And Sparky, we've talked about this. This is something that is the most problematic for most people. Israel and Gaza. It is, to some people, it is an absolute, they don't understand it. They expect somehow. And that's easier. I think they look at the Russian case a little bit differently. But they expect somehow Donald Trump to realize or say all of a sudden, hey, this is, what am I trying to say? They'll say that, you've got to stop this. You've got to just tell Bibi Netanyahu that's it. This is genocide. This is apartheid. This is ethnic cleansing. We're not going to give you one. And I've heard this before. I've heard Napolitano, Jeffrey Sachs, Mearsheimer, McGregor, Alistair Crook. Go down the list. Pepe Escobar. Everybody you can imagine. Everybody. Larry Johnson. I mean, everybody. They're saying you don't understand. Our good friend Sparky. And I understand that. This is wrong and a genocide. Aaron Monte, Max Blumenthal, down the list. Go down the list. This and that. Katie Halper, very good. Down the list. Everybody, this is wrong. This is that's okay. Fine. Now, I stop him right there, and I say, you know what? You make a good point, right? And I'm not saying intellectually you're wrong, but would you advise President Trump right now, knowing the way things are? And this has nothing to do with reality, morality, anything. But would you describe, especially somebody, do you think Lindsey Graham, if you said, Lindsey, I want you to do this, they're going to come after you hard. But you have got to break away. You've got to basically say no to AIPAC, and that's it. Do you expect that to happen? I'm not saying should you. I'm not saying what. Do you expect that to happen? Do you? Sparky says, correction, the period between James and Brown's was a typo. Sorry about that. Oh, I understand. I understand that exactly, and I understand that completely. Thank you, sir. Do you think that? Yeah, but don't you understand this right? Do you think they're going to do this? During COVID, My physician should have said, no way, I'm not giving vaccines to anybody. And vaccines are dangerous. And by God, to hell with my license, to hell with my family, to hell with my future, to hell with my profession. I'm standing up for something that's right. This is wrong. I will not be subjugated by Big Pharma. You're kidding me, right? You're kidding me, right? You're kidding me? You think a doctor can do it? Yeah, but don't you understand? Well, I understand a lot. You think this is going to happen? You might. Come on. Stop it. That's reality. Reality is one thing. What you should do is another. This is another. That's all. So what I'm saying is keep pushing your position. Keep advancing your position. Keep talking your position. Keep doing it. But understand, reality is a different story. And people demand of politicians, you don't understand, that is right. That is right. When Bobby Kennedy was under the impression that perhaps maybe he would be viewed as being anti-Semitic, when he made that comment where Shmuley Boteach came to his defense, so to speak, and he went and did this talking tour. People were just absolutely, oh my God, you're Bobby, what are you doing? He's a Zionist, and you don't believe this, and don't you understand? Okay. Are you really been out of shape? Do you not understand this? If there's one thing Bobby Kennedy knows, it's politics, right? Sort of, maybe. The guy, well, he also loves being the maverick a bit more. Does anybody really want to talk about that? Do you understand that? People always talked about something, and I respect anybody who used to be a heroin addict and changed their life. Do you think somebody's brain has changed permanently with heroin? When you're a heroin addict and you do you think that one day you can go back? I think so. What do you do with that? I don't know. Nobody ever talks about that. Nobody ever talks about it. Why? Because that's reality, but this is politics. You don't talk about that stuff. You talk about this, but not that. Okay, well, whatever. So remember, you got to pick the group you want to talk to. Some people have these ideas that, well, this is the way it is. And this is the way. No. Now, what happens with Lindsey Graham? And I always thought about that. I thought this was funny. You know, you've always heard these kind of hints that he's gay, right? You've heard this. There've been talks about this. Does it matter? Not really. Unless it can be used to blackmail you, then it's relevant. Then it's relevant. But I don't know if there's any blackmail involved. But I always thought to myself, why do people not say the truth? Get it out of the way. It doesn't matter. I don't understand it. But that notwithstanding. And again, does it matter? Doesn't matter theoretically. But Lindsey Graham picked up the speed when John McCain died. He said, "Oh, that's where that money is. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. And I'm going to pick up the ball and I'm going to run. You want to pro-Israel? I'm the guy. You want to pro-NATO? I'm the guy. You want somebody who's anti-Russian? I'm the guy. That's where the money is." And then look at Fox News. They're right on board. Oh, they wouldn't say anything. They wouldn't say. Come on, stop it. Stop it. The other day they were talking about South African genocide. South African genocide? South African? And they said, okay, so you recognize, you think that's genocide? Seriously? Okay. Well, I guess technically speaking. You want to talk about any other kind of genocide? No. Now, do you know what that's about? Of course you know what that's about. Now, what I do is this. I'm not going to lose sleep over this. I recognize this. I recognize it. Now, and again, we could talk about this all you want, but you've got to understand this is the way it is. And right now, there's this weird conflation of stuff, and it's coming from all over the world. And by the way, the reason why I brought up this Prometheus updates, this reminds me of, go back and listen to Lyndon LaRouche. Not everything, but he had the British family. If you've heard of Perfidious Albion, Perfide Albion, this goes. There is something to be said where Winston Churchill, they said, do you believe that Winston Churchill was? Winston Churchill is not our hero. He's their hero. And they never, like this Douglas Murray and these other folks. Douglas Murray was just a sniveling. Oh, anyway, they were very upset. Well, he was a hero to you, not to us. Not our guy. Do you really want to know? See, that's another thing you have to understand. Do people really want to know the truth? Do you really want to know the truth about D-Day? D-Day was yesterday. Do you really want to know the truth? I don't know. But do you really want to know the truth? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't think people want to know the truth. The truth hurts. The truth stings. The truth is inconvenient. It's not either or. It's all of the above, and it's just the way it is. It's the way it is. And it's one of the things which you have to understand something now. I'm proceeding ahead. I'm analyzing this. And once I understand something, I'm still going forward. But I recognize what we're up against. And there are some things and there are some beliefs that I have that nobody is going to care about. Nobody is going to care about these people. Nobody. And I recognize this. I recognize the fact that I know this. They know this, but so we're going to move forward. Is there anybody here who really, truly, honestly believes that Vladimir Putin is evil? Now, if you want to talk about evil, Stalin was from another planet, another time, another epoch. Another group of people who by virtue of the fact that it was a different, he was Georgian and he was there during the revolution and it was a blood sport and, kill or be killed. He is not somebody to in any way be cowed or to kowtow to, I should say, excuse me. But do you think he was how do I say this? Do you think he was evil? Probably. What does the word evil even mean? But Putin, evil? No. No. Absolutely not. Now, if I say that, if I go on Fox News, you think typhoid or something's going to get? Of course not, because they know the script. You got to say that. Do you think Xi Jinping is evil? See, if you think like this, if you think they're not human, then you realize they can't negotiate with them. Why? Because they're evil. They're monsters. They're not real. They don't have families. They don't feel pain the way they do. They're evil. If you believe that, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. So what I'm saying is that you must look at this. Let's not spend too much time, but understand the Epstein web just got dragged back into the light thanks to Elon. Oh, you want to find out about Elon, about Epstein? Well, only if we find the about the Trump on dirt on Trump. Oh, okay, maybe. As Sparky says, try to catch your shows live, but lately I've been just in time to be too late. Oh, sorry about that. I have been. It's been very difficult for me to sometimes have things ahead of time. I'm going to bring this up. CCP says, Rick Roy says, CCP lies a lot. Did you see this? What's wrong with that? And thank you for that. Do we lie? You bet you we lie. We're some of the best liars anybody's ever seen. Do we lie? Yeah, we lie. You bet. So they lie too? Uh-huh. Yeah, they lie. Why would they tell us the truth? What duty does CCP have? Most people in China will tell you this guy doesn't control anything. He's hanging on by, sometimes they don't see him, sometimes he's gone. But you're never going to know this if you keep watching American news. If you watch Fox or CNN or any of the other, if that's your worldview, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it. And that's why we have to understand a couple of things here. First, don't lose your temper. Don't lose your perspective. Recognize the fact that at best, you don't know anything. You know more than other people, but that's like you holding the world's record in the mile for people over 90. It's like, okay, that's important. So that's okay. But what we're doing is we're making tremendous progress. Don't be a Trino. Don't be a Trump in name only. I love that term. And also follow me. Sign up for the newsletter. Newsletter is great. Make sure you sign up for that X for that used to be Twitter. And until we meet again, my friends, I want to thank everybody, all the great and fine people. Sparky, always a pleasure to see you, my friend, with your perspective, tales about your family and some remote uncle who actually, was a cohort of Dillinger or what have you. It's fascinating. Thomas Almy. Oh, I missed that. One love, Lionel. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thomas Finley, we thank you for that. You're so, so kind. Timothy Finley, I think I should say rather. Orion, Sal Angelo, and thank you so much for that. You're very, very, most of you, no, all of you, very, very kind. All right, my friends, we might see you later. We'll see. Stay subscribed to Lionel Nation. This is when, so when you have your phone, oh, he's live. That's what I do with Judge Napolitano. I see him. He's live or he's, sounds good to me, or I'll catch it later, whatever it is. That's the way that is. In any event, thank you, my friends. Have a great and a glorious day, a beautiful day, a beauteous day. 75 degrees here in New York City. It's going to rain. Not that you care. We'll speak with you later. Love you, my friends. Love you madly. You're family to me. You are family. We are family. I've got all my sisters with me. Have a great and glorious day, my friends. And please, whatever you do, comment as you see fit.